Wunderwaffe! Oh, how I've missed you! Hello and welcome to episode 95 of Geek Speak, a place for all your nerdy needs.
Whoa, what's going on here? I'm away for a few weeks and you're Bleezey hosting? I can't believe this is happening. Alex, how did you dare do this on your watch?
It was a mistake.
Let me get this started correctly.
I was trying to train him to be the next you.
No one can replace me. How dare you?
Sorry, Bleezey, I tried.
Hey, Bleezey.
Hi.
Hi. So, let's get this show on the road. Hello and welcome to episode 95 of Big Red Barrel Geek Speak, a place for all your nerdy needs on BigRedBarrel.com. I'm your host, Lauren, and with me as always is the Baroness of Butts, Amorous Auntie Alex.
Hi, but so what? I typed that whole intro for nothing?
Oh, I'm sorry, dear, I'm sorry. And I would like to give a big apologies to the boisterously bashful Banana. Bleezey, what's going on here? How did you get a banana in your name?
I don't know. And if I'm honest, I was genuinely having some kind of anxiety thing where I was like, I hear this intro all the time, and yet I can't say it. So I'm somewhat glad that you've pranked me, or I don't guess. A lot is suddenly making sense now.
Yes, so we got Diarmuid to do the butts, or the marks, as you will. And, yeah, he didn't know I was on tonight. And I'm guessing a lot of you at home didn't know I was on tonight, and I hope this is a happy surprise. I've been away for a little while. I'm glad to be back.
It's Lauren!
It's Lauren. And we're going to kick off with the Time Waster Week, which I believe I have mentioned before in regards...
Oh, did you?
Yes. In regards to Always Sunny in Philadelphia. So there is a YouTube channel called Binging with Babish, which I adore. It is absolutely fantastic. He's made the Flaming Moe, and he made it well. He's made a variety of foods from a variety of different shows. Well, one of my favourite recipes is rum ham, fight milk, for example, from Always Sunny in Philadelphia, to name a few recipes. He's made stuff from Bob's Burgers. Pretty sure he's made the Szechuan sauce. That was another reason I mentioned him in episodes past when the Rick and Morty season 3 episode 1 came out, because he made 3 different recipes for the Szechuan sauce. Sorry, had to do that. Love you, Rick Sanchez. Yeah. He made 3 different types. So he made what he thought was the closest proximity to it, which was just mixing sweet and sour sauce with barbecue. Haven't actually tried that yet. I should do. Actually making a recipe which someone on Reddit worked out through many, many years of painstaking research, and then just a general nice Szechuan sauce. And then he got a bit high and mixed them all together and loved it. So, yeah. Check him out. It is amazing. He does make some delicious food. He tries to make them as close to screen accurate as possible, and then he tries to make a good version that's actually edible.
And apparently they're all in 4K.
Oh yeah, all in 4K. Beautiful. You can sponsor him on Patreon, where he does some extra little tidbits and so on and so forth, but Binging with Babish is fantastic YouTube channel. Check it out. I will also mention Commenticut, since I'm harking back to the good old days of things I've already watched. And he did a Kickstarter about 2 years ago, which is Erik drinks wine and gets a haircut.
Wait, does he get a haircut every week just to satisfy his Kickstarter backers or whatever?
No. He has to make a short film, which is Erik drinking wine and getting a haircut. One of the Kickstarter backer rewards, was $600, and you get to choose the haircut. So
Ouch.
It's just a 10-minute short little film, which is the conclusion to this ongoing saga that's been going on for the last 2 years. It's kind of ramped up over the last couple of months because he's been doing little update videos saying it's just silly little updates. And the video goes on for about 2 minutes, and then at the end, at one point he was in a parrot costume with his balls hanging out going, "Film's delayed!" And that's it. It's wonderfully ridiculous. And if you got 10 minutes spare and you just want something stupid, guy drinking wine and getting an interesting haircut, check it out. Please do. It's amazing. Yeah.
That's all I have to say. I have no words.
Yeah. It is fantastic.
I just can't believe it came out and I missed it.
It's this week. It's this week, honey. It's this week. Check it out. You can still give him them likes, give him them views. All gets that money, Hans. Although I'm pretty sure he hasn't got ad revenue because YouTube keeps blocking that crap on things they doesn't particularly like or understand. Okay, let's get into our topics, shall we? I see Alex has reordered them since our last look, and I'm kicking off, apparently.
Well, because otherwise it would be me talking for straight 20 minutes or something, so I decided let's not torture our listeners and let's start with you.
And I haven't been talking enough already. Hello. Some of you might have seen on bigrebel.com that I went to see Baby Driver about, by the time this episode comes out, 2 weeks ago. So before it came out, which was on the 28th, which at time recording, hang on. When did it come out? I swear it came out on the 28th. It's 23rd today, and I'm seeing it tomorrow. I'm getting confused on release dates. Never mind. Ignore that. Yeah, it's out. Watch it. It's fun. Yeah, you can read my review on bigrebel.com. It is spoiler-free, and I'm going to keep this spoiler-free as much as possible. But Baby Driver is an absolute triumph from Edgar Wright. As I said in my article, I have been following this guy's career since Spaced and some of his other little bits and pieces. I've loved the concept of this movie since the original video came out, which was The Blue Song, starring Noel Fielding, Julian Barrett, Nick Frost, and Michael Smiley, which again is a fantastic song, fantastic little video. If you think about this random, is 3 minutes 51, the original video, and it's just a dude dancing in the car while he's waiting for some people to do a heist. If you pitch that to a normal Hollywood studio, you'd think, oh, you're talking out your rectum, mate. What are you doing? Edgar Wright pitches it, and it's the most amazing film of the year. Like, I'm not saying that lightly. It is my favourite film of this year. It's my favourite film of the last 2 years. And that, like, I've seen Guardians and Doctor Strange and things like that. It is a fantastic movie. It does not miss any beat. There's so many things that I noticed, and coming out, I still know that I've got more to see in all the little hidden gems that Edgar Wright kind of secrets away in his films. The opening sequence is amazing. It's one of the best. Like, I rate it above Blue and Deadpool, and I love that opening sequence. It's fantastic. Scott Pilgrim had an amazing opening sequence, and again, Edgar Wright. But this one, again, it hits every note, it hits every beat, and it's just utterly fantastic. I did admittedly dislike is a harsh term, but I wasn't a fan of Lily James' character because it just seemed like Lily James with an American accent, like nothing special. But everyone else is so utterly wonderful in this. I love John Hamm in it. I love Jamie Foxx. Kevin Spacey is amazing, as he always is. And then there's a couple of little cameos that you do not expect, but you love all the same. And I cannot speak highly enough about this film that you should just watch it again. I'm seeing it again tomorrow.
Yeah, aren't you, both of you seeing it together, or am I making this up?
Yeah, he's coming up to see it in Londonium.
Yeah, I basically turned down the volume because I was like, I didn't know whether anything was going to be too spoilery.
I'm not going to spoil it because I love this film too much and everyone needs to experience it as it is.
Sometimes hearing a film is so good and going in with that heightened expectation can, like, dampen the film.
This film is that goddamn good.
I had that problem with Guardians of the Galaxy too. I went in with too high expectation, actually didn't like it the first time, and then the second time I watched it, I was like, actually, no, that is pretty good. It's just it wasn't quite as high as I went in going, so that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to keep down the hype for it, but that's personally.
Well,
me.
I went in, I didn't look up anything before Guardians, so I wasn't part of the hype train. But it was good. I enjoyed it. It wasn't as good as the first one, but it was still good in the realms of sequels and Marvel sequels and so on. This is just a goddamn good movie, man. John Hamm is fantastic, and I keep saying this bloody sentence because I mean it to the nth degree, but it's the sexiest movie of the summer without taking any of its clothes off.
It does have cars in it, so I'm in.
I don't like heist movies. I don't like chase movies. I don't
know why we're friends.
Because I look after you and you die otherwise.
That's
sort
probably
of walked
true.
into that one, but it was supposed
did.
to be just a light-hearted joke, but no, we're going serious then.
This is serious. I'm serious about how good this film is. Watch this film, watch it again, watch it a million times, pay for it every single time, and you will love it. End of question.
I don't have much to add to it, except that there has not been a single film that I liked Lily James in, so I'm not entirely surprised that you didn't like her in this one, even though you loved the film.
Oh yeah, like, she was a blip on an absolutely stupendous film. It's amazing. It's so good.
Okay, it's a recommend then.
It's not just a recommend, it's a must. Must. Go freaking watch it. Must, or I'll punch you. Must.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm happy you're so happy about
I
that
am so
movie.
happy, and I'm so jazzed to go see it again. I can't wait. Okay, coming up next is a topic that is very, very close to my heart, but I don't know what the context is. So, Bleezey and Alex, will you take it away?
Yeah, so, me and Bleezey have been diving in, well, in a territory that I didn't really want to dive in general, but Bleezey likes that kind of stuff, I think.
I live in that genre.
Yeah, so we've been playing Black Ops 3, but not the shooty, warry, gunsy, manly side of Black Ops 3. We've been playing Zombie Chronicles. And I have a lot of fondness for Zombie Chronicles because this is how I got into gaming after not being a gamer for years because of things and studying and what so on. And then Black Ops 1 zombie maps was the first thing that I became completely obsessed with. And the things that, I watched tutorial videos on YouTube on how to get better. I practiced, I played those maps endlessly and obsessively. I bought so much DLC of those maps. And Zombie Chronicles is a collection of maps, most of them, not all of them, but there is a lot from Modern Warfare, the first time they appeared, there's a lot from Black Ops 1, there's a lot from other games as well. There's a whole list that you can find online of what maps there are, and I would really love to recommend it, except that you do have to have Black Ops 3, and oh god, there's a lot of downloading if you get the both of them.
Oh yeah, there is.
So yeah, I have a lot of fondness for the zombie maps and just general zombie gameplay of Black Ops. Just quickly, I realized that I've ended up speaking about this and people might not know what it's about, but it's basically an endless waves of zombies on various maps, and you unlock different rooms for kind of, I guess, in-game currency, but it's not really in-game currency. You get points for killing, you get points for killing zombies, and then you use them to buy guns, upgrade guns, buy perks, open doors, run around, and it's as long as you can survive, and every round there are more zombies, they become a little bit more resilient, and it's all about strategy and working together, and running the trains, and it's quite interesting. Black Ops zombies, they also have quite a bit of a lore to them as well. I used to follow the lore much closely than it is now. I think it just went completely off rails at the moment.
I've read up on the lore, and a lot of the maps have a Easter egg, which is the most complicated thing in gaming. I mean, I've played a lot of complicated games, but doing any zombies Easter egg is how the people find it. I don't understand, because it's I think there was one on Advanced Warfare. It's not one of the maps that's included, but it literally included one bit where you have to put a frying pan on the cooker. I don't even know where you pick up a frying pan on that map, but it's just it's all this stuff get a frying pan, you put it on the cooker, then you kill zombies around it, and it fries up the meat and all this stuff. It's the only reason I'm using that as an example is because that's the only one I can remember at all. There's ones on the moon which involve shooting this floating golf ball thing. Yeah! And it's mad. I
just remember it's all Richtofen's fault. That's all I remember. And then something happens to him, and then zombies' eye color changes or something crazy like that.
Spoilers for zombies, I guess? So, 3 people that have ever controlled the zombies. The first one was this little girl, Samantha, because she was part of some experiment, and she was a scientist's daughter who walked in on the experiment, and then she kind of got sucked into the ether, but now she controls all the zombies, and they're the ones with the yellow eyes. And then in the events of Moon, Richtofen takes over, and then the zombies have blue eyes, and he sort of blows up the world. And I don't know if either of you played the Black Ops 2 map Transit, where you had the bus that went round, and the world's all destroyed. But he caused that by doing the Easter egg in Moon. And then, I can't remember what it was, but there was another map where it was sort of this gold rush type town. And then the Easter egg at the end of that is you release control from Richtofen. And Maxis, I want to say, it's Samantha's dad, the original scientist, takes over.
Oh, gee,
and they have yellow eyes. The only reason I remember it is because of the colours of the eyes change. Either way, you're still fighting through everything, and there's usually someone laughing maniacally in the background. Sometimes it's me.
Okay, before we go any further, we kind of have to reveal this to you, dear listeners, but we had a bit of a switcheroo. Well, Lauren, she's changed. Things happened to her. Yes, Lauren?
Hello there.
It's Diarmuid.
No, I wanted to keep the ruse going.
There is no ruse. That fell apart as soon as I said anything. In fact, my heavy breathing probably gave that away.
It has always been Lauren. No, it has always been Diarmuid. Oh my god, I've confused myself now.
I'm going to the cinema with one of them, but I don't know which one.
It'll be like that movie Split.
I've not seen that, actually, so way over my head.
Okay, I won't spoil it then.
Do you think there is a test? Maybe you should bring, like, a toy Cthulhu and something else and wave it in front of one of them, and the one of them that really gets excited is probably Lauren.
Put them at opposite ends of the path and see which one you go towards.
Now, here's what happens. I bring a tiny little Irish flag and a tiny little Welsh flag, and then I wave the Irish flag, and hopefully Diarmuid would react.
And then you sing diddly diddly do, yeah?
I get the Welsh flag, I put it on the floor, and I stamp on it, and then Lauren would definitely react.
And then there would be a little coffin with the name Bleezey on it.
Alright, yeah, so it's me instead of Lauren, who had to disappear.
Did you play Zombie Chronicles at all? I can't remember.
A very little bit, and it was just with Bleezey. I kind of never really gotten into the zombies modes because they were kind of very co-op based, and a lot of the time I was kind of sharing a controller with my housemate when I was playing Call of Duty. I never kind of got into those, so it was one of those things that I kind of got into later purely because you guys were all getting into it, and it was like, yeah, let's do this. Co-op experience should be good. So I played, like, pretty much one long game, well, 2 long games, with Bleezey, and it was interesting.
We went onto the moon map.
We died a lot.
Yeah, basically, the only thing I knew about the moon map from trial and error before is as soon as you go to the moon, you need to put a spacesuit on because there's no air.
I did not realize this.
And you'll slowly die. We did not realize this the first time. Luckily, we were playing with an amazing player who, no matter how many times me and Diarmuid died, he just kept going. He just kept going and going and going. And in the end, it got to the point where we were dying so frequently, we had to go and do other things, but he was still, like, carrying us through the game.
I have rarely been carried so hard. It was to the point where I would get revived as soon as I was standing upright. I was already seeing the red on the screen and I was down again. It was kind of amazing. And the fact that even when we ended up leaving, he was still going. Yeah, it's impressive.
Me and you, Bleezey, played a couple of times, and every time we played, something absolutely ridiculous would happen to us.
So, what was the first one we started on the cinema map. You were teaching me how to run train and stuff.
Yeah, because that's the map I know the best. It's ridiculous amount of hours I've played on that map.
And I was told very specifically, don't open a certain door. However, that just meant I wanted to open the door. Also, the other thing is, at the point that we both died, I did open the door. Yeah, so that first game we played, I did sort of throw it because I was curious, and then instantly regretted it. And unfortunately in Zombies, once you open a door, you can't close it again.
And then we just started experimenting, going from maps to maps, and I kind of played most of them, but not a lot of them. And you were talking about how on the map that is not included in the Zombie Chronicles, but number 5, where you played as Kennedy, Castro, who were the other two?
McNamara? He was like...
Yeah, McNamara, yeah.
I want to say it's Nixon, but I'm not actually sure.
Yes. Probably is, actually. Probably Nixon. Yeah, so there was, he was basically a level in White House where all those leaders are sitting in the room and then zombies attack. But that map was specifically really hard because it was all tiny, tiny rooms. But then there was really cool bit where there were elevators traveling between the floors and you could jump on the elevator and leave people behind. Well, it would be a dick move, but you could do that.
I did that a lot.
Yep, Bleezey did that a lot. Which is coming us to the next story, is that we started playing the map called Ascension, which is all about going to space, and there is a big map, and we're running around like idiots opening the rooms, not knowing what the hell we were doing. And then suddenly, just by pressing random buttons, we realize that there is a space rocket that takes you from one part of the map to another part of the map, and we're like, ooh, space rocket, we can fly! And then we're on the other area of the map, and we're fighting zombies, and there's a lot of them, and they're a random pickup, and I steal a pickup from Bleezey, and Bleezey gets angry with me, so he sits on the rocket, flies away, and leaves me with the zombies.
Good job.
Yeah, it'll teach you to steal the pickup. I even called it out. I went, ooh, there's a pickup, I'm gonna get that. And then I see Alex jump in the way, and I went, I'm not gonna shoot the zombies. And then I ran to the little lander thing, jumped on it, and went, ooh, I don't need 2 people on this. Immediately turned to Alex and went, bye! And then flew off.
What a dick. And then we had a famous incident where we open the map, and as I said, you start in a starting room, and then you fight a bit of zombies, but then the amount of zombies begins to become overwhelming, and you need to open other doors to get into more rooms to get a little bit more space, and you generally get that, like, you play 3 rounds in the starting area, then you open the door, you go into the next one, and then you play maybe a round or two in another one, and then you open the door to the next room, and so on and so on and so on. And so we're playing, I think it's called Varuk.
Yeah, I think it's Varuk. I'm not actually sure how it's pronounced, but I think that's how it's spelled.
We're murdering it. We're completely murdering it, but it doesn't matter. And we were playing on that map, and I was like, all right, we're overrun by zombies. Let's open the door. And the door it does not lead anywhere. It's a closet, and the only reason it's there is because there's a really expensive gun there. And then we died. And then, for some reason, the two of us decided that we don't want to open any more doors. All we want is to find out what that gun was. So, next time, I think we spent 3 or 4 rounds constantly dying, trying to get enough points to get that gun. And then when we finally figured out the strategy, the game spawned us in a different starting room.
It wasn't a different starting room. It was the room parallel to the starting room.
Yeah.
However, in the biggest dick move in gaming, they went, oh no, to open that door that would be really easy usually, you have to turn on the power. We didn't know our way around the map. We had to, find our way around the map. It was basically we were on an exploratory mission to see where the power was on the map. And it was following lots of signs, opening lots of doors, trying to survive at the same time. And then we finally, I think we stumbled upon the power by accident because we couldn't actually find the signs anymore.
No.
That was interesting.
And then the next day we played with someone who hacked the game, and I don't know how you hack the game on the PS4.
We didn't actually mention, we did get the gun, and then Alex went down.
Yeah.
It was almost, it wasn't quite immediate, but I was doing a lot better than you. That's all I remember. I just remember surviving and you didn't. And then you lost the gun and you were very upset about it.
Well, good on you, Bleezey.
And then you lost Juggernog and you were chatting about, oh, I need it, where do I go? And I directed you to the closet room because I thought you meant the gun, not Juggernog. And Alex got very bad.
Just a little bit. And then we played on we played a new map, and we played with the 2 random dudes, and one of them totally hacked the game because there weren't many zombies around, and we were getting all the perks, and there was infinite mystery box that gives you much better guns than you usually can buy off the walls, and it was crazy because I don't know how you can hack the PS4, but I'm guessing you can.
I don't know, but yeah, it was, we were running around the first wave. The first wave somehow ended without me and Alex seeing a zombie. We thought that was a bit weird. Then we looked at our points, and we had 5,000 points for the first round, and it's usually you end the first round on 600?
Maybe. Well, I think you start with 600. Maybe you end up on 1,000.
Yeah, but over the next few rounds, we slowly started realizing that, this was happening because we'd suddenly get perk after perk and go, what's going on? And then it was pretty much a permanent fire sale, which, as Alex said, the mystery box, it basically, I think it's 5 or 6 of them spawn across the map, and they're all cost 10 points instead of the 950 they usually do. Alex immediately got a gun called the Wunderwaffe.
Oh yeah, the Wunderwaffe.
And I was very jealous, and...
You still didn't get it,
No, I still didn't get it. And it was one of those things where I went, now we could leave the game because it's clearly hacked, it's clearly not going to be the normal zombies thing. However, I went, well, I want to know what the Wunderwaffe is, and I want to know what it does. Why does Alex get it and I don't? And so I hit the mystery box about 100 times, and every single time, I did not get the Wunderwaffe. I didn't even see what it was. Alex wouldn't show me.
It's your karma coming back for you for the time you were dick to me.
The times that zombies actually showed up, it got legitimately terrifying because you weren't expecting it. You're running around the map, there's nothing to do, there's nothing to shoot at, and although, because you've got so many perks, you just shrug it off. But I think that was the main reaction from both me and Alex, is just being surprised that there is a zombie in the zombies map. Then, was it that the hacker guy left? And then it suddenly became very hard very quickly. I think I was the only one left at one point, and I was just running back and forth, just firing a shotgun until I ran out of ammo, and then running around, and then firing it all again. And I think the only reason that I died was because I actually ran out of ammo. Yeah, zombies is fun.
Yeah, they're really fun, and they're really fun to play, and I don't think it's the type of the Call of Duty. You don't have to be any good of Call of Duty to run around and shoot zombies. You know, it's a fun thing, it's a play with friends, play with guns, there's funny characters, interesting maps to do around. I'm gonna say I got it because I have such a big nostalgia for the game. I can't recommend it because as soon as first of all, I had to get copies of Black Ops 3, which I still feel a bit ashamed about that. Then I had to get that, Zombie Chronicles on top of that, which was like another 25 quid or something. I can't remember how much it was, but a significant amount. And then, because it's Activision, and because Activision just loves money, you still open the game and they're like, well, you can play this map if you buy this DLC, you can play this map if you can buy this DLC, and I'm like, come on.
I think it would have been fairer if the Zombies Chronicles also included the Black Ops 3 maps, because, yeah, as you're saying, is like, each time they put out a map pack, it would be 4 multiplayer maps and a Zombies map, and they did that 4 times. So if you are doing what Alex did, you get the original starting map, and then the next 4 maps are locked off, and then afterwards, then you get your 8 or so Zombies maps in the DLC, and it is a bit weird. The other thing that I would like to note, though, is I was playing a game and doing actually quite well while Alex was waiting for me, and Alex ventured onto online. I've not heard anything more hilarious than Alex trying to understand how Black Ops 3 works online, because it was just a lot of, what the F is that? But the F is and it just became noises in the end. It wasn't even words until there was suddenly a giant cheer because she got 1 kill.
No, I got 2 kills in a row.
Okay, 2 kills in a row.
Because before that, I would kill someone and then immediately get shot. And then once I managed to kill someone and then kill someone again, and I was like, well, I'm making progress now.
I can't remember if you actually did, but it feels like you shouted, "I am the greatest."
I possibly did. I possibly still am. What can I say?
I won't challenge you to a 1v1, it's fine.
No, I'm not.
I won't make you test that. But I think it mainly depends on who you play with, because if you play with randoms, you might do well, you might do terribly. However, I don't think it's as much fun as actually talking to the person that you're playing with and making jokes. Like, for example, I think the best bits that me and Alex had, and I'm sure you'll agree, were the bits where we were messing about.
Yeah.
The bits where we just went, we are going to afford the really expensive gun for no reason. Or when me and Di were just like, let's go to the moon, and we were just flinging ourselves about on jump pads, even though we didn't really know how they worked. But yeah, it's like those ones, I think the cinema map is good, but because almost too much, specifically talking to you, Alex, I think it's not as great as the other maps, just because to get to, say, wave 20 whatever of zombies is good, but the moments I remember are the ones where we die in wave 5, wave 3, because we were trying something stupid, like, for example, we're shooting out the front windows and we completely forgot that there's a back one, and then suddenly we turn around, like, backpedaling and all this stuff, and we run out of ammo. They're the memories that stand out more.
Yeah.
That's why I'd say Zombies is good if you have friends to play with that are like-minded. I'm still looking forward to, I think we've still got another 5 maps to try.
Yeah, I've not even tried any new maps from whatever, the bus map that you were talking about and all the other stuff.
The bus map's not in it. I'm a little bit gutted about that one.
To be honest, there's a lot of really good maps that are not in it. So the bus map apparently is not in it. The 5 is not in it. One of my favorite maps of all time, Der Reise, or I'm sorry, butchering German.
That is in it. However, it was like a pre-order one, and so I thought it was still free, but basically they remastered it as a pre-order bonus. It's called The Giant, I think.
Oh.
But that is a single map, so I don't know if you can buy it just singly or you can get a code online. I don't
know. It sounds just really annoying. Just this whole thing, you get a bunch of them, but then the other thing you have to get for pre-order, the other thing you have to get for DLC, the other thing you get with the fairy godmother. Like, come on. If you're releasing the pack with all the zombie maps, that's where all the zombie maps should be. Otherwise, it's just getting really frustrating. And not like I was, a big Call of Duty player anyway, but it makes me want to pay attention and, play their games even less. To which I say, let's move on, because Di's got exciting stuff to talk about.
Oh, yes.
Take it away.
Very exciting. So this week I went to the Barbican in London, and they're currently running a paid for, so you have to get a ticket for this, but it's well worth it, show called Into the Unknown, a journey through science fiction. It's currently running, and it's running until the 1st of September, so you still have time to get in there and get this visited, because it's definitely well worth seeing. It's basically just items and interesting stuff from the entire history of sci-fi. It is simply amazing. Like, when I went in there, I was kind of blown away from the start. The very first area you go into is all about journeys and voyages and all of these different things. So it includes work by Jules Verne, for instance, and Edgar Rice Burroughs, things like that. It includes sketches, it includes paintings, all kind of showing off concept art or just art inspired by the words from these famous books and so on. It has sketches from Ray Harryhausen and his stop motion workshop and how he designed the creatures and the characters that were in his films. It's really, really interesting. It has items from the Godzilla movies, for instance, which I sent to Jo because I knew that would be something that she would enjoy. It had the various heads from the films. Disappointingly, it didn't have the head from the new one, which disappointed Joe, but it was still good. Did
it have the one from that bad one?
From the 90s one, yes. It also had like a model of not just the head, but the entire body of that one. And despite it being the bad one, it looked really cool. Like, really cool.
I just imagine Joe getting really annoyed, though, that they included that one, but not the new one.
Yeah, exactly. It had manuscripts, it had drawings, like original drawings from all of these various projects. It had items from Jurassic Park. It was amazing. And that was just the first section. You're kind of funneled through to the next section then, which is all about space. In that particular section, it has stuff from Arthur C. Clarke. It has stuff from movies like Stargate, Star Trek, Star Wars,
nice,
Interstellar. It has models of the ship from Interstellar, the one that goes down onto the planets. It had a proper full, not a full scale, but like really detailed miniature from that. It had items from The Martian. In this section, actually, there was a kind of a cool little installation they had where, in The Martian, where they're on Earth and you have all of these screens on the wall, and it's like from the NASA headquarters or whatever.
Yeah.
And you see all of these different items. I assume you've all watched The Martian at this stage, right?
I love The Martian. It might actually be my favourite film.
Yes, I also really, really like it.
So I'm very, very interested in this.
I'm not spoiling anything then by saying that there is a rocket crash. And in this, you're actually there's a keyboard set up, there's a monitor, and you're controlling all of these big screens, and you're kind of initiating. There's a part where it says hit the spacebar to initiate the countdown. You do that, and suddenly there's these big booming voices going 10, 9, and it keeps counting down. God. And you have to hit spacebar again to initiate the engines or, ignition and all that kind of stuff. It's actually quite good. It's well put together. And the screens are all from the movie, so it shows like the various screens showing telemetry and all of that kind of stuff, and it's really well produced. It kind of moves us on into the part of the next area that kind of broke up the space area into the future worlds area, which was really kind of cool. So it had elements from things like George Orwell's 1984. It had various screens up that you could listen to audio clips from. You could see there was like this really cool image of items from the Hunger Games, from Fahrenheit 451. Things like that. They also had this really cool thing that I think you'd appreciate, Alex, because they're talking about new worlds and whatnot. A lot of it was to do with architecture.
Ooh.
So they showed items like sketches and ideas and all that kind of stuff from Dark City, and they also had original sketches done for Ben Wheatley's High Rise, like how they designed the actual building. And they had a clip up on the wall kind of showing you clips from the movie that were kind of cut together just to highlight the architecture inside the building. Like, it was really well done.
High Rise, another good movie, by the way.
Exactly. Then they move on to the last section, which is they titled it Final Frontiers, but it was basically stuff from Blade Runner. They had items from Back to the Future and Doctor Who. There was you were looking around and you were reading all these placards and kind of being just amazed. They had, the suitcase they have in Inception, the one that kind of gets everyone into the dream state or whatever.
Oh,
they
the
had
drug
that.
one.
Exactly, yeah. They had that set up. They had all of these toy robots set up. You've probably seen, if you follow me on Twitter at all, you've probably seen pictures that I posted up from the various elements from that show. And one of the ones that Lauren actually put up was they this one from, I think it was it Alien? I think it was like a seat, and it had skull heads on it and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they had everything. They had the sketches of the original Alien and ideas from Geiger and how his ideas evolved into what we got in the movie. It had helmets from Star Wars. There was so much stuff. It was honestly like a nerd's dream. You went in there and you were like a kid in a candy store. You just couldn't look at everything all at once, but you tried to. It was really amazing. After that, there was other elements to it as well. So there was a 30-minute movie that was produced, which I didn't watch. And the reason for that was we went into the little screening area, which was just a very tiny area, but it was like a proper kind of cinema experience as well. Like, it was really dark. The problem was, this was Tuesday of this week. It was hot. And I honestly could not last inside there. I think I lasted about 5 minutes and then I just had to leave. It was just way too warm in there, so I didn't actually get to see that. But there were still other areas, like they had a game music set up, so you could actually go into various sci-fi games and listen to the soundtracks and things like that.
That's cool.
Okay, I pretty much spoiled everything that's there, but there's a lot more stuff that's there as well.
How much is it?
I think the ticket was $14.50. I don't know if there's different prices for different times, but I do know that obviously you can go in at various times of the day, and it's open. I think the last ticket opening was like 6:30 in the evening, and then it would stay open until about 8 o'clock or something like that, so you'd have time to look around. And the as I said, it's running until the 1st of September, so there's plenty of time to get to this, and I really do recommend it. As a self-described nerd, it was amazing. Just everything. I could not soak everything up. It was brilliant, really well produced.
Okay, I think I might have to check it out because
Yeah, same.
I was especially, ever since going to the Warner Brothers studio tour of the Harry Potter, I think that excitement of seeing production stuff and, you know, the not so much behind the scenes, but the development of ideas and some raw stuff and artwork and models and props, it got me on the next level of me wanting to see more stuff like that, and this sounds like right up that alley.
Yeah. One of the things that blew me away was there was in behind a screen, there was like an original printing of a H.G. Wells novel. It was right there, and I was like, that's amazing. You have the original there, and the amount of different items that kind of gave me that reaction in that show was kind of amazing. They had all of these different models and images, and just how, I think when I came away from it, I just came away from it with an appreciation of not only the artistry that has to go into designing all of these different things, but the vision. There was some images that were up on the wall that were kind of like backlit almost by, they looked like screens, but they were actually paintings or something. I honestly don't know how to describe it, but there was one I was looking up at on the wall, and it looked like a cityscape, but the lights were actually lights, like they actually shone. And as you moved your head, they would kind of twinkle. It was just so well produced. It's definitely worth seeing. If you do go and see it, let me know what you think, because I think it's really amazing.
Well, on to the last topic of the show, and that's me speaking a little bit more, for which I apologize, listeners. But I played a little puzzle point-and-clicky adventure game called Adam Wolfe. That's with an E at the end, by Madhead Games. I played it on my iPhone. It's available on Steam, Android, iOS, all your sorts of stuff. It follows, unsurprisingly, Adam Wolfe, who is a detective of paranormal, and in the style of the first Watch Dogs, a member of his family, I don't remember who wasn't Watch Dogs, but in the case of Adam Wolfe, his sister disappeared, and he spends all his time searching for her while also solving some paranormal crimes, you know, on the way. There is 4 episodes. I would say all of the episodes play of just over an hour. There are different difficulty modes. I played on the easiest because I was there for the story, and you guys know about my relationship with the puzzles. It is not great. Having said that, I quite enjoyed a lot of the puzzles. I mean, the good thing about that game is there is a good variety of puzzles. You know, there are some things, you know, there is a bunch of crap on the screen, like you open the cupboard and there's just items, and it asks you to find specific items. But then there are also other more clever puzzles of where you actually have to solve something. There's, you know, maze, and you have to push the two levers together to a certain position, which is a little bit complicated. And I did actually have to ask Coleman for help with one of them, because I solved half of that puzzle, and then I got stuck and kind of gave up. And then he came and did it in 3 seconds, and I went, oh. So yeah. But yeah, so that's mainly about it. You go for the story. There is some dialogue choices, but not so much. This is a puzzle game without shooting. I wouldn't say the shooting is the greatest part of that game, but the variety of the puzzles is good. The supernatural element of it, I guess, is interesting. I've enjoyed the game, but I feel like there's a lot of little things that are just taken away from it that making me like it slightly less. For example, Adam Wolfe himself is the most generic man without any kind of character or charisma or anything, period.
So like Aiden Pierce from Watch Dogs,
yeah, pretty much. You know, I get what they're going for, this, you know, kind of broody detective, but you know, you can do kind of a broody detective well. Look at The Wolf Among Us. Come on, the Big B was pretty broody, but he was also excellent and had the character, and you knew what he was about. He was the evil wolf, or not so evil in this case. But in this one, he's just blah. I mean, the most interesting thing about this Adam was that he had a raven. The raven that was just in his room, and he used once to solve one puzzle, I think. He needed to get like a feather from him. So, and you know, that's what he did. But other than that, there's not much about him. There aren't any standout characters or standout cases. It's a lot of various puzzles, exploring different rooms, picking up items to be used to open something or to figure something out. So, and story, yes, it's a supernatural, but there isn't an interesting twist on anything there, really. Everything is a bit too predictable, a bit too generic supernatural go. I always felt like there was a point that at one point they made a poke at how everything is almost too generic. Like someone was making a potion and he made a joke, oh, you have to put a garlic in this potion because of course you have to put garlic in a potion. You need to put garlic in every potion or something like that. And I almost felt like that never went anywhere further, and it would have been nice if the game took itself slightly less seriously and maybe poked fun at the crazy supernatural rituals and occultists and the demon things and the rituals a little bit more than it did. And it was pretty much straight up, you know, what you see is what you get. Other than that, the artwork is actually really amazing. There is a bit of an animation which looks slightly weird because they went for very realistic art style, and most of the time when they draw faces they look very real, very detailed, very good, and then whenever they actually perform some kind of actions like open mouth, it looks a bit odd.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other final thing I would say is that thank God there was you can skip some of the puzzles. Like if you can't solve a puzzle for a very long time, you can skip it, because for a game that requires you to touch, sometimes the touching part is really annoying. I needed to draw something with my finger and it wasn't a timer, and it just would not register that my finger was on the screen for a very, very long time. And then occasionally I knew what I had to do and I would tap on the object, but it wouldn't register that I would tap on it, so I needed to go and there is a hint action and you press on that hint action. It tells you exactly what you need to press. And I needed to press that exactly at that point just to trigger the action I already knew I needed to do. That, I think, even if you ignore the generic Adam guy and how predictable the stories are and the cases are and all the suspension of disbelief that you just have to let go because, you know, again, as I said, what you see is what you get. There isn't much depth in the stories that they're telling you, or there isn't much plot twist or unpredictability or cleverness. No, they're very much, you're solving a crime, here is a demon, is a literal fire demon. But that, I think you can all overlook and just let that go as it's a mobile game, it looks pretty, it has fun puzzles. But the part about that the touch screen aspect of it doesn't work always that well is the annoying part of it. And if I'm not 100% sure how the difficulties work. It's one thing I need to check before I actually write my full review on it, because that's what I'm also planning to do. If you hyped it up to like a hard difficulty, and that means you can't skip some of the puzzles, then I think we really have a problem there, because some of them are just impossible to do because your finger just does not register on the screen. And that's a little bit of a shame, but other than that, for a thing that I usually hate, point and click and puzzle, I thought that was pretty good.
Do you think the issues you were having were to do with the device you were using, or do you think it's universal? Like, did you try installing it somewhere else to see if that maybe fixed it? Because that would be interesting to see. Like, it could be something they could patch as well, maybe.
Maybe, I'm not sure. It's been out for a while. I think it's been out from October last year, so I would assume if it needed patching, it would have already been patched.
Would have, yeah.
I have an iPhone code, so I can maybe try to download it on my iPad and see if that changes anything. The game is out on Steam, and I assume that with the mouse, a lot of those issues would go away and wouldn't be a problem. And actually, I had a brief look on Steam, and it have overall positive reviews. I think it was like 68%, whatever that means on Steam. Steam people.
It may also be like something like just the screen wasn't big enough. Maybe it's not meant to be played on a phone, but like the tablet, maybe it's got...
I don't know, it's perfectly fine on the phone, like, except that sometimes it wouldn't react as fast, or in the case of a couple of puzzles, it's just, out of the whole 4 episodes, there were 2 occasions where I really got frustrated with it, just 2. Other than that, I could kind of get over it, and it wasn't really that much of the issue, but it feels fine on the phone. It plays pretty great on the phone. You can zoom in when you need to zoom in, you can tap everything pretty easily, so I don't think that it's not particularly suitable to the phone. But then again, you know, that kind of game, if I could play it on my phone, that's where I would play it. I wouldn't download it on Steam and play it on my PC. That just doesn't feel like it. This is the perfect thing that I get on the train, and I play for 15 minutes, and then I walk away, and then I come back on the train, and I play for another 15-20 minutes while I'm going somewhere. And that is a perfect place for it. And it's very well suited for it. So, yeah. If you are looking for point-and-clicky story-based stuff, maybe give Adam Wolfe a try and look at the artwork, look at the puzzles, look at the stuff, and maybe it's more up your alley than I'd imagine it would be.
Cute.
Okay, so I think we've come to the end of our show. A bit crazy with some switcheroos as it may have been. So we need to say thank you to a couple of people, and we'll say thank you to Richard Kirk, Stingo, Stealthy Joe, and Diarmuid.
Me.
Hi, Diarmuid.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Dad.
You're welcome.
Yeah. By the way, I do recommend going in the forums and checking out Dai's GIF game, because it's always on point.
I'm trying to rival it on Twitter, but I'm not talented enough yet.
You need to learn, young Padawan. Learn.
I'm going to try and have a whole day where I have conversations on Twitter only using GIFs.
You'll be like Bumblebee from Transformers.
Exactly. You'll have to work out what I'm saying. I wonder if you can make sentences by just putting GIF after GIF after GIF.
I'm sure you could.
I know.
Well,
this sounds like some sort of challenge.
Don't talk to me like that, but you totally try it on other people.
Only gonna have conversations with Alex like that.
Remember that tiny, tiny coffin with the name Bleezey on it?
Revive me.
Visualize it. Visualize it. And on the Twitter, we want to say thank you to Will Driver at WillDriver93. If you want to chat with us, you can do so on BigRedBarrel.com, on the post for the episodes, or on the forums. You can do so on Facebook, facebook.com/BigRedBarrel. We also have a Facebook group for gamer nights, and the link of that will be in the show notes for this episode, so you can join and play games with us. Maybe even zombies, if you have Black Ops and Zombie Chronicles. Let's do some crazy stuff.
I'll still be playing it.
You can talk to us on Twitter at BigRedBarrel using hashtag Geek Speak, which helps us to find your tweets. You can also speak to us directly. I'm at DacityLoop_. Lauren, who was here briefly, is at the Switchstream.
I'm at Diarmuid_S.
I am at Bleezey Boy.
Our episodes also come out on YouTube, so you feel free to listen to us that way and leave us a comment there, and we will give you a shout out as well. And as always, if you can spare a couple of minutes to leave us an iTunes review, we will love you a lot. Possibly from the distance, if that is how you prefer, we'll just send you good vibes your way for leaving us a review. Also, as usual reminder that Tuesday is a Tuesday, and on Tuesday, Tabletop Tuesday happens. It's a board game night at Loading Bar in Dalston in London, and this week we continue with the whole video game theme. So our feature game is Final Fantasy, the card game, which is actually pretty good, and I'm not a Final Fantasy fan, but if you're a Final Fantasy fan, I think you'll enjoy that aspect of it, and if you're not a fan of that at all, there are pretty cool card mechanics and fighting mechanics that I think anyone can enjoy. What have I forgotten?
I went to Tabletop Tuesday. It was cool.
Yeah.
I just felt like I hadn't actually said something on topic for a while. I was a great sheriff.
On topic. I think you covered everything.
Okay, cool.
You got it.
And with that, thank you very much for joining us for a bit of a crazy episode 95. I have been Butts.
I've been Diarmuid.
And I have been Josh.
No, you've been Banana Bleezey.
I still don't know where banana came from.
I don't know either.
Banana, na 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 na, banana.
And
Bananas
we bid you
in pajamas are coming down the stairs.
goodbye.
I don't know the rest of it.
Help me someone.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Butts.
You and your ears are quite welcome.
For the podcasting goodness that you just heard.
Why not roll on over
To BigRedBarrel.com.
for more podcasts?
News, reviews, and videos from the biggest, reddest site on the internet. BigRedBarrel.com.
Okay, anyway, Di, you here?
I am here.
Are you sure you're here?
I am positive I'm here. It's me. It's
I
definitely
don't know.
me.
Lauren is good at voices.
Not that good.
Let me get back into zombies, and then I don't know how, but we'll intro Di in.
No, just don't announce it. Just see if anyone notices. Also, outro as Lauren as well.
I got to
Wait.
attend. Yeah, go on.
Sorry, I thought we were still talking about
I was going to bring it back round to
Are we talking about Zombie
Zombies?
Chronicles? Okay, let's go back to Zombie Chronicles. I thought we were moving on to.
So
the
when
next
Lauren
bit.
hits me, I go down on the floor, and then a little revive thing comes up above my head.
Lauren, who was here briefly, is at the Swiss Shrimp. One of you.
Bleezey.
Okay. Sorry, my cat
We were
walked in
too
the room.
polite.
My cat walked in the room, and I was trying to gesture him away, and I was like, "Don't worry, Di's got this." And then he's just sat in the doorway, just looking at me.
All
And I'm
right.
like, "Don't you dare meow." Anyway,
He's also thinking of a tiny coffin with the Bleezey's name on it.
that cat is planning my death every single day. So I go next, or you?
Just go, Bleezey.
I am at Bleezey Boy.
Good. We're finally there.
My cat doesn't have a hashtag. Oh, that's actually quite a good episode title.
No, the episode title is Wunderwaffe.
Damn it. I'm quite proud of my cat doesn't have a hashtag there. I'm going to make my cat a Twitter account just so that I can put it in the show notes.
Final Fantasy, Wait. Guys, I'm really sorry. I don't know why. What is happening
don't
to
worry.
me? I can't say words.
I ran out of things to say and started gesturing to my cat about 10 minutes ago, so it's fine.
It's the heat. I'm still blaming the heat.
He's still there. He's just looking at me. It's starting to freak me out now.
I think he's succeeding.
It's just I know what you did. You don't know what you did. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. Okay, for anyone who has become as invested in the Franks the cat story as I have been after editing this episode, a little Frank the cat update and the reasoning behind the staring at the Bleezey thing that was happening during the episode. Apparently, Frank the grumpy cat went and take a big old Frank the cat poop somewhere in the room, and he just really wanted Bleezey to see, so he came into his room and stared at him a bunch. Okay, that's it. The end of the exciting story. Bye. 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 The end of the exciting story.